if you have a citizen and he entitled of a food card, you get a food card. 48 hours, Trump taking power. 4,000 immigration right now marching to the borders. They are saying they want to come into America before Trump take office in January. But if America go and fall, if Trump go and start a war, why these Mexican, Venezuelans, because now the news say, ABC news say, in the house of them, to come. Why all these people running to America? If Trump go and start a war, why all these people? If Trump so bad? The Democrat ABC, about an hour ago, broadcast it and said over 3,000 marching to the borders to see if they could get in before Donald Trump come. But I want to tell them, don't do that. Don't do it. Daily Voice. I think that yesterday I hear a call talk about BP and BP owners. Listen to me. BP is white men. BP is white men. Listen to me. Once we win the House and the Senate, Trump will go to the Republicans of them and tell them to crush everything. So that jargon deal and that thing with BP make and make, it could fall apart in the next few months. Because we had the power to cut it. But then when they want to come with some intelligent, you have to answer a question. Because there's a new regime. Daily Voice, do you know in the next 2 months that the American PNM ambassador has to move? Trump is going to appoint his ambassador. Daily Voice, I am so sorry that Donald Trump do not recognize Dr. Rowley. Only how Donald Trump will recognize Rowley. He must cut all ties with Nicolas Maduro. We don't like him. I definitely don't like Nicolas Maduro. He must cut all ties against Nicolas Maduro. Because Daily Voice, our family, all of us could say we have over 10 families or 10 persons we know living in America. I ask how much people they know from Trinidad living in Venezuela. Daily Voice, we Tunisia, we Timberland here, depend our food chain on America. The way America walk, we walk. The way America talk, we talk. We have on American clothes. We have on Sean Diddy and we have on the clothes. Still, our food basket, billions of dollars, depend on America. Most of the Caribbean, half of the Caribbean, living in the United States of America. How much people live in Venezuela from the Caribbean? How much people living in Russia or China? Who you want Kingsley to support? Then I asked him earlier, who, if I show all of them across America, that a sister living up there, the uncle and the aunt. I want to thank the opposition leader for acknowledging the 47th president. I think that was a good call for the opposition leader. I think that Donald Trump respect her because she stand with, at that time, with the former opposition leader of Venezuela. When Donald Trump and them declared that Nicolas Maduro didn't win the election, that Galco, I think it's Galco is the man name. Hope I'm right. That
coming for London, Kingsley.
Okay. JT Voice, I want to thank you very much. I know this Friday and you're difficult to do, but I feel I will come back in a time. But I want to ask them again, who will you rather, America or Venezuela? Because I ask you know, and you know why you pivot Venezuela over America? Look at the cost, Kingsley. I say America, our food basket, our trade, our economy depend on America. It not depend on a Japan deal. I got.
All right. So, for those of you that are looking for the live is back up. I was getting some issues in terms of having the live up. The live just disappeared just like that. So for those of you all that have been on and got booted off, you're free to come back in. Let me see how I could get this done. Seeing calls coming in. I want you all to call me on the other line, which is... So either call WhatsApp if you're calling normal. If you're calling normal, I want you to call... That's no. Right. So if you're calling normal, call on the 3420081. And you could call WhatsApp on that as well, or you could call WhatsApp only on the 4665391 because I'm using that line for something else. Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Dr. Dale.
Good afternoon.
I got a call listening. To your friend AI today, boy. I should clarify what you see with the Auditor General and the Finance Minister.
What scene is that?
You see when the public right now, that with the Auditor General and the Finance Minister, but when she case and she entitled to go and sue him. What I know the pastor talk about Curry Marcel and Heinz. Heinz. People don't want Heinz again. Curry Marcel, I hope what is domination time. You go down there with 1,000. I hope it's a room in Ballis, the bill Ballis house. I had real big, but you go full of the we want Curry Marcel. Heinz and mother go. I look to understand. Bring on the eye, I'm gonna take my yeah, she tell you.
Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon. Oh boy, I tried calling, not in this program, the program before, to give a view, but I was unable to do it, so I don't know if I'm able to express it here. Good afternoon, Mr. Deal, and to the wider listening public. I saw an article this weekend on The Guardian, a criminologist, Darius Figueroa, given where one of those chamber condemned him. One of the things Darius Figueroa said in his article, I don't know, did you see The Guardian this weekend by chance, Bill? With the article that wrote on Darius Figueroa?
No.
Oh, okay. So he's a well-known criminologist. He doesn't look like you or me. And what he said was crime and the criminality that has taken place in Central with the business community stems from drugs. And you had the chamber and some people, prominent people in that community, condemn him and say it was rather unfortunate what a statement he has made. But he is a well-known criminologist. He's well-researched. And what we have seen most recent, a number of kidnapping with business people. And weeks may pass, days may pass, a month may pass, and most recent we have a case. And they were demanding 3 million and all kind of figures. And they just come back quiet. They ask what happened. They say, we want our privacy and we deserve the privacy and we still leave it there alone. But what I do know is this type of thing we see happening there, and based on what Mr. Figueroa said, it stems from the same business community who proliferate on the ground drugs, and guns protect the drugs. And we have a number of what we see, how we see it as little blackened chicken, who is part of the little carnage that take place on the ground. And when you look at the value of both guns and drugs on the ground, the little blackened chicken does not have the resources that it stems from the business community. So when you look at what Mr. Figueroa said, it has a lot of validity. It speaks facts, you know. And based on Rudy Giuliani, he made a statement. Gary brought him here. When police, having police without proper salary, they become tool, mule, and fool. And what I am seeing, a lot of young people, and when you watch, a lot of them look like us, who is involved in the carnage that takes place in the country, are the tool, mule, and fool with these people. And the facts are there where we are seeing our business community participate and involve in nefarious activity. And people does not want to call their spade a spade. We does only point fingers to the little blackened chicken on the ground who does not have the resources to carry out that carnage that's going on. We need to nip it in the bud. We just only look at holding tool, mule, and fool on the ground. That is the snat and the yampy. It is not the virus. The virus comes from those well-renowned people in the community who sit, who we just go and full up and with brick, block, cement, and push trolley in the place, if you understand. And what happened? We just call them business people, right? And some years ago, Mr. Figueroa made a research, and his finding was on the drug trade in the Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. And his finding
Coming
was,
for landing.
Sorry?
Said coming for landing.
Yeah. So what he said was, there isn't any African drug lord. Drug lords are within the Lebanese, Syrian, Chinese, and East Indian community. The Syrian community here took him to court, but he wanted his mother to drop the matter because the evidence that he had gathered and researched was overwhelming. Thank you.
All right, let me see if I could get. Let me see if I could get Susan on the thing. Susan, you there?
Right here. What's up?
All right, Susan. So we're about to do the radio show together. Are you ready?
Absolutely. I'm.
Right.
Let's get this show on.
As I told you guys before, if you're calling the 466 number, you're calling it WhatsApp only. You will not get through if you call normal call. All right. So, Susan, tell me what has been happening in Trinidad so far over the week now.
I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble responding.
You know, people harden and now say something and you're still calling. Right. So let me just see what's going on here. Susan is in the building with us. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
All right. Well, in Trinidad this week, there's been a lot happening. From what...
Caller, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sir Diesel.
Afternoon.
We are going with the caller before, you know.
Huh?
The good citizens are the architect of economic slavery and everything. Who we call good citizen, who we call lawyer Biden, and who we think they are the architect of what's going on here right now. I don't have to say for now. I will listen to the discussion further, and if I say anything, I'll say it again. But that's what I'm saying for now.
All right, no problem.
You have a blessed day, including your co-host now.
Oh, you want to tell her? You want to tell her anything? She listening, you know.
Yeah, well, look, I ain't seeing her right now, you know, but she's sung and beautiful. But good afternoon to her.
All right, Susan, the caller said good afternoon.
Good afternoon to the caller.
She say nothing. All right.
And a good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a blessed one.
Yeah, brother. So now's the time that you could call in and talk to Susan, ask Susan anything, she will answer, and we'll go from there. So so we could call the number, and that number to call to talk to Susan will be 3420081. 3420081. If you're calling, you could call that WhatsApp or normal call, or you could call via WhatsApp only on 4665391. That is only for this period here. All right. So if you want to talk to Susan, ask Susan any question, feel free to do so. Let me just see what went on here.
Dear, good afternoon. KFC come out there just now, there. And again?
All right. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Edward.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon to you, Susan. Don't answer me down so, eh? Answer me bubbly, eh? Right, I go on.
No problem. All right, let's do this. What?
Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Dr. Dale. Good afternoon, Susan.
She didn't hear you.
Susan, I want to ask you. Good afternoon, Susan. I see a man.
Good afternoon.
You want to share. You say a song sweet. You look for
Oh, that's wonderful.
Early. Yeah. I want to hear about the thing right now in the public about Trinidad and Tobago, the Auditor General and the Finance Minister. What do you think about that? I looked on listening, Susan and Dale.
All right. Well, whenever you're ready, I'm here.
Susan ignored it, right? Wow. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Dale, what's up?
Are they cool?
I hear Susan in the building.
Go ahead.
Susan, my question is, from 2010 to 2024, we have two prime ministers, the former prime minister and Dr. Rowley. And the both of them left our borders defenseless. The both of them left the people of Trinidad and Tobago defenseless. The both of them left their own supporters defenseless. Susan, what do you think about that? I will leave it here.
Sounds... All right. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. You're welcome.
Susan, what do you think about the question that he asked?
Well, it seems like there are some... Yeah, it seems like there's a lot to think about. Absolutely. It's a complex issue. Definitely. It's...
Oh, yeah, Susan going mad today, boy. What is this? You see, people not listening to the instructions that I've given them, and that's why we're having this issue. You'll need to listen to the instructions. Susan, the caller asked earlier on, what do you think about the two prime ministers of Trinidad and Tobago, the last two, leaving the borders defenseless? I think that's what he said.
It sounds like It's definitely a big issue if people feel the country's defenses are lacking. It can impact a sense of security.
Okay. All right, let's take another call.
Sounds good. Ready? All right, let's hear from them.
Good afternoon, Dale. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I want to ask Susan a question. Susan, who is the lawyer that went to the Privy Council to have the death penalty be a bailable offense? Number one. And number two, how much did it cost the lawyer to go to the Privy Council? Thank you. And who does horn more, red woman or black woman?
I'm not able to browse the internet or access real-time information, so I can't provide the name of the lawyer or the cost related to the Privy Council case regarding the death penalty. However, if you have more details or another topic you'd like to discuss, I'm here to help.
He wanted to know who does horn more between Red Woman and
I can't say who has won more. Glad to hear. Let's keep it going.
Alright, something is definitely wrong with what's going on here with Suzanne. So let me see what it is. Let me clear up some voice notes and see if I could thing here. Because like Suzanne is not hearing too keenly. They're pressuring Suzanne today.
Pastor Google, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dale. I just tuned in with you again. And on the hearing Kingsley talking. My God, why these people them? Why we Trini is like that? You ever hear any other people in any other country pull down the country like that? A place where you live in. Not because you can't walk in the oil and gas or the oil. You want them. You want Trump, right? To close down that deal. Because you keep on talking about it, it wouldn't last. They go close it down and all kind of thinkings. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? This is the country that you're living in. I feel you should take a boat and ride out of here, boy. It's stupid. No, sorry, I don't like to call people stupid, you know. I don't like to call people stupid, to tell you the truth. But nah, I can't believe what I'm hearing. Kingsley was on the program yesterday with this nonsense. You come back with it again. Kingsley, this thing is to take care of family. Look how much children they have in the oil and gas, doing trade to learn to do these things. And Kingsley, you talking about they should shut it down or they go shut it down? Nah, man. Kingsley, stop making bad for this country now. I'm asking you again. Stop making bad for this place that we live in, please now. When they hear you saying them kind of thing, to be say Trump is no stupid man and dotish, eh?
Susan, good evening. Did the Minister of Finance break the law of the Constitution when he put a panel together to investigate the independent office of the Auditor General? Did he break the law by doing that?
Right, just now, let me just pull it up from here instead, and we'll ask again. Hold on.
Susan, good evening. Did the Minister of Finance break the law of the Constitution when he put a panel together to investigate the independent office of the Auditor General? Did he break the law by doing that?
Good evening. This is a significant question. The Minister of Finance would be stepping into a complex legal area if he assembled a panel to investigate the independent office of the Auditor General, as this office is constitutionally protected to ensure its independence and objectivity. The Auditor General's role is meant to be free from political influence, so any external interference could raise serious constitutional concerns. However, determining if it's a clear constitutional violation would depend on the specific laws governing the Auditor General's independence, the powers of the Minister of Finance, and any applicable legal precedents. In Trinidad and Tobago, or similar constitutional systems, this would likely require a legal interpretation from a court or a constitutional expert to definitively say if the minister's actions breached the law.
All right. So, Suzanne, I had to use Suzanne from on the next side, so you could call in now. 342-0081-466-5391. Suzanne is asking and answering all questions today.
Daily Voice, good afternoon, my brother. First time caller, but Adam listener. Kush weed is now for everybody, you know. You must tell KFC, stop smoking all that Kush. And for them two fellas on the 4 and 6, 4 to 7, one is kakalak, next one is hex. Look up kakalak in the Dutch English dictionary. You go see the meaning of a kakalak.
A kakalak. Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Partially responding to one of your caller concerning the borders left unprotected by both Prime Minister in relation with Mr. Figueroa, the criminologist. What I did, Pamela did, she said that the crime is on land, not on sea. When they came into office, they disband the OPVs. They never took the OPVs. They stopped the blimp. Our radar system, our 360 radar system, they squashed that. We even had in the airport a facial recognition security system. That and all was disbanded by them. So what she did, she left our borders and our security apparatus open and allowed the proliferation of guns and drugs to proliferate our country.
Leave it there, caller. We're out of time. We're going to pay some bills and we'll be back. When we come back, we'll come back with some more. I have a whole heap of voice notes, a lot of questions. Some people even asking some other stuff in terms of why so many business people in coerce with criminals. We're going to answer all those questions, and Susan is in with us. Keep it locked. We'll be back.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
Renting a car in Tobago should be quick, affordable, and easy.
Wow.
Here at Onia Rentals, we make the process as simple as possible by using our easy e-sign-up. Yep, we can sign you up from just about anywhere using our tablets. See? All done. And everything goes straight into the cloud.
Wow.
Yeah, you're on your way. Are you coming to Tobago? Book your car rental with us and enjoy the most affordable rates in Tobago. But hurry, because cars go pretty fast. Call 361-1042. That's 361-1042. One more time, 361-1042. O'Neill Auto Rentals, Tobago. Taking you further.
Oh God, call on the Lord. Call on Him. Pour on us, oh God. Oh God, as we pray, oh Lord.
You are invited to join Pastor Morris Johnson of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center, located at 399 Eastern Main Road, Guayco in Sangre Grande, for the Old Time Gospel Hour all-night prayer every Friday evening, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Designed with you in mind, this ministry deals with today's issues from a biblical perspective. You will be given the opportunity to call in and interact with us. Micah 6:8 says, He hath showed thee, O man, what is good and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. Your free will gifts and offerings will be greatly appreciated and can be sent through the First Citizens Bank, account 795222, in the name of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly. For more information, please call 753-1113. May God richly bless you.
The Street 919 FM mobile app is now live. Keep in the loop with all your favorite programs. Be in the know first and carry us wherever you go. Listen and watch us live at the click of your fingertips. Download our mobile app now. Go in your favorite app store, whether it be Android or Apple, and type in The Street 919 FM.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Alright, so we're back on the inside, Street 919 FM, and of course, it's all about asking Susan the questions that you want to hear. Susan has a mind of her own, and she will answer each and every question that you all give. I have some voice notes on the inside as well. Let me see how I can clear up everything so that I can give everybody a call and an answer, And let me go back to the phone lines. 3420081 4665391. Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon. I want to ask Susan who's paying her for this job.
You want to ask Susan who's paying her?
Who is paying her for this job?
God, I have to ask Susan. But this, let me just bring
Susan,
back.
can you tell me who's paying you this evening?
Susan, the boss want to know who's paying you this afternoon.
Actually, I'm not Susan. And as for payment, let's just say I'm working around the clock for free right now.
Susan says she working around the clock for free, yes. Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Blessed day to you, my brother.
Yeah, man.
And a beautiful evening to Miss Susan. Just answer a question. The auditor used the same shot that JJ used against the Prime Minister, that he can say what you have to say in Parliament pertaining to the glitch. But they're blaming the Finance Minister. But it wasn't no robbery, money and missing. I like Susan to explain. Locked on as usual, King.
Just now, before you go, just to be specific, you want Susan to explain what?
JJ are using the initials. The past Commissioner of Police.
Right.
Right? He had a problem that he called on his lawyer to block the Prime Minister from mentioning anything.
Right.
So if you could clarify that for me. If the Auditor General used the same strategy, and I believe it's the same attorney, the same lawyer that the Attorney General used, that the Auditor General used likewise.
Oh, Lord. All right. Susan might get a letter from Chini Bashment, you know, the way all you're going down here.
Hey Dale, good afternoon. I see Kingsley tried to get in the program from the beginning, and then after the connection wasn't coming in good here. And then I see KFC come after. And as KFC come out, he come back and said they laugh at KFC because he says something. But I would say this to KFC. KFC, you need to get a job to help yourself. You're a young man, sub-dependent on the government for things. You fraud the government and they take back the thing where you're frauding the government. Because you're like how UNC does do it to fraud the government. UNC fraud.
God, why are we going down this road today? Let's not go down that road now. Susan waiting and all here. Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Daily Voice. That's when they're not smart. When they're not smart, the song so. But Susan, in Trinidad and Tobago, the government, national security, spent $70 billion in 10 years. Can you tell me which country in the Western Hemisphere spent that amount of money in national security? Thank you.
Susan thinking there.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Our systems are experiencing heavy load. Please try again later.
Susan, you there with me? Or you like killing Susan?
I promise, I'm not trying to take Susan's spot. Sounds like Susan's a pretty important part of the team.
All right, so here
Maybe I can help fill in until she's back?
Susan, like she's gone. So here this, the caller asked if there is how much what the $76 billion in national security, if there's another nation or island that has spent that amount of money on national security.
That's a great question from the caller. Comparing spending on national security with other nations or islands can vary widely because each country has unique security challenges, budgets, and priorities. Generally, larger nations tend to spend more on security overall, but small island nations may also have high per capita spending if they face specific issues like border protection, crime, or drug trafficking concerns. Do you know how much was actually spent, or are you looking for specific comparisons?
But forget about the how much. Do you think that it is wise that the country spends a lot of money, or majority of the budget, into national security? Does it make sense to you?
Spending a significant portion of the budget on national security can make sense in some situations, but it really depends on the country's unique needs and threats. If a country faces high levels of crime, terrorism, or external threats, investing in security might be necessary to protect its citizens and stabilize the economy. However, if national security spending starts to crowd out essential investments in areas like healthcare, education, or infrastructure, it could be harmful in the long run. Balancing security with these other priorities is crucial because ultimately, a country's well-being depends on more than just security alone. It needs a healthy, educated population and a strong economy to truly thrive. What's your take? Do you feel the security spending in your context is excessive?
All right. Thank you, Susan. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Dave.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Susan. Are you hearing me then?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
I would like to ask Susan, what is the reason that a member of parliament who has to answer on the 6th of November, it was ruled by a judge, High Court judge, that was supposed to be an issue, what I would call a criminal issue. And for some reason or the other, Susan, no media house took it up. In fact, I haven't seen it, and I go what they call peeping at news, all news, because I like to be factual at all point in time. But I could hear certain other stations boasting and very happy. They should be, I think, if they feel that party is before country, be ruling by the people in England. And I find it very strange that no one from that department in the afternoon mentioned that, and I hadn't seen it in any one of the current news. Could you explain to me the reason why that would be so selfish of media houses not to present us with the reason why? Thank you very much.
A little confused about the question itself. What is the question entirely? Is it in terms of the media houses not covering the media house not covering the story itself? You know, we have to be very concise and clear when we are asking questions. And if you're talking so spaced out and broken, Susanna and all confused. I am all confused too. So make sure when you're asking your questions, you ask straight to the point. She will hear you and she will answer you accordingly.
Yeah, good afternoon. Don't usually call, voice note this program. I listen sometimes. Yeah, but it's Kingsley position or it's Kingsley place, so he's a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And this is the forum to do that. This is the forum for us, your program, the evening program, the morning program, whatever program you have during the procedure. This is the forum for us to vent our feelings. This is the forum for us to see, right? And sometimes you can, even if it's propaganda or not, you can pick sense out of nonsense. People open up their eyes, have things that you can learn from, something, right? So you can't bash Kingsley. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the man, but you cannot bash him. This is the forum for him to call and voice his opinion. Same as you, alright? The lady who was just talking there, alright? And if we don't do these things, if you like a party, or you don't like a party, if we don't do these things, we can't fix anything. If we don't open our eyes and open our mouths and see things, then things won't get better, alright?
All right. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Dale.
Good afternoon.
It seemed like Mr. Podaspin and I was talking similar and at the same time. So I would like to state over the question because I say I don't understand what Mr. Podaspin say. Right? I would like to find out from Suzanne. Good afternoon, Suzanne. I would like to find out from Suzanne if there is some recourse that the public could have when information is suppressed by the multiple electronic and print media on a particular issue. The 6th of November, Dr. Munilal, an active politician right now, was supposed to submit his defense for fraud, bribery, and multiple charges ordered by the Privy Council, right? And we heard nothing. No apology 2 days after. More than 48 hours passed and we have heard nothing, right? I would like to know if there is some recourse for the public in the form of a balance, because we're hearing much about the same Privy Council relating to the Auditor General and the simple blank that the Auditor General getting in England and just allowing them to sue the government. That case will come up. But what we want to know is if Dr. Munilal filed his defense. That is important to us. Fraud. Thank you.
Right. So, guys, I want us to understand that when you ask the question, you need to stop. Because you ask a question and then you go into a whole 3-minute long, then she can answer you. All right? So, let me try and see if I could be based on what it is was just now said. If she could think. Can you repeat the answer that you gave just now?
Of course. If information is being suppressed across multiple media outlets, the public does have a few potential avenues for recourse. One option is to turn to independent or alternative media sources, such as online platforms, social media, or independent journalists, to share or uncover the suppressed information. Another approach is through freedom of information laws, if available, which allows citizens to request access to government documents and data. In some cases, public advocacy and pressure can also play a role. People can organize petitions, peaceful protests, or raise awareness online to push for transparency. Additionally, ombudsman offices or media councils in certain countries serve as oversight bodies where the public can file complaints about media ethics or lack of transparency. The effectiveness of these options depends on the country's legal protections for freedom of speech and the press. Would you be interested in exploring any of these options more specifically?
Nah, not yet, darling. Not yet. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Dale.
Good afternoon.
Dale, you ever had a matter before the court?
If I've ever had a matter before the court?
Yeah, if you ever had to go through the court system. How long it took you?
It's still going on.
Well, this is what I want to tell you something. Dale, I have a few things before the court for several different reasons. We all go through that. I finished one matter, right? That matter took 8 years through the system, Dale. You know, when I filed my witness statement, it's 2024. I filed my witness statement in 2018. It took 6 years after that to reach in front of the court before a trial date. That is a big problem in this country.
How can we fix it?
No, well, again, the judiciary has to figure out a way to solve this problem. We have a young Chief Justice there. We have to figure out this. This is not a political problem. This is a This is a problem that the people need on. They like I in a court for a matter for 8 years. It took 8 years for that matter to go through the system.
The digestive survey or similar healthcare services in Trinidad and Tobago.
How can we address the long wait period in the judiciary or the justice system in Trinidad?
Addressing the long wait times in Trinidad and Tobago's judiciary or justice system would require a multifaceted approach. Here are several strategies that could help improve efficiency. 1. Increase court resources and personnel. Hiring more judges, court staff, and legal professionals could help reduce the backlog of cases. Courts could also be better equipped with modern technology to handle more cases in a timely manner. 2. Implement alternative dispute resolution, ADR. Expanding the use of mediation, arbitration, and other alternative dispute resolution mechanisms can help resolve cases outside of the formal court system, easing the pressure on the courts. 3. Streamline case management. Introducing case management systems that prioritize urgent cases, track progress, and ensure timely hearings can help speed up the legal process. Efficient scheduling and setting realistic timelines for each stage of a case can also reduce delays. 4. Increase court sitting days. Extending court hours or adding more sittings during the week can help clear case backlogs, especially in high-volume courts like the magistrates' courts. 5. Public legal education. Educating the public about the legal process and their rights can help individuals better navigate the system and avoid unnecessary delays, such as filing incomplete or poorly prepared claims. 6. Technology and digital platforms. Introducing e-filing systems, virtual hearings, and automated case tracking can reduce paperwork, speed up administrative processes, and allow for remote participation, cutting down on delays caused by physical logistics. 7. Prison reform and bail process. Addressing the backlog of individuals in detention awaiting trial, especially in minor cases, through reforms in the bail system and prison conditions, would alleviate congestion in the justice system. 8. Legislative changes. Revisiting outdated laws or procedures that contribute to delays and updating them to meet modern needs could help expedite the legal process. 9. Targeted funding and investment. Allocating more resources and funding to the judicial system, including building new courts, improving infrastructure, and providing better training for legal professionals, could significantly reduce wait times. These strategies would require collaboration among various stakeholders, including government, judiciary, legal professionals, and the public, to effectively tackle the issue. Would you like to explore any of these solutions further?
Not right now. Let me just go back to the lines and ask some other, answer some other persons. You know, people have been calling and getting messages or answering the phone. Let me go to the lines. Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Yes, Dale, good afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
In continuing where I was, on the same drug trade.
Caller, give somebody else a try now. Thanks. You say your point and then they call back to talk the same thing again. Come down, man. Don't do that. We have short time. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Dale, good afternoon again to you and good afternoon to Susan. Susan, I want to know, is it proper practice for government to take taxpayers' money, sign non-disclosure deals with other countries over the world, and the citizens don't know what they're doing with that money because it's non-disclosure deal? Is that good governance practice? I would like to know, please.
The practice of governments signing non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, with taxpayers' money is a complex issue and can raise concerns about transparency, accountability, and public trust. Generally, NDAs are used in private sector transactions to protect sensitive business information. However, in the context of government, the use of NDAs can be controversial for a few reasons. 1. Public accountability. Governments are accountable to the public, and taxpayers have the right to know how their money is being spent. Signing an NDA in situations involving public funds could limit transparency and hinder the public's ability to scrutinize government actions. 2. Exceptions for sensitive information. There are cases where governments might need to sign NDAs to protect national security, confidential negotiations, such as defense contracts, international agreements, or intellectual property, or other sensitive matters. In these cases, NDAs may be justified, but they should be used sparingly and with clear justifications. 3. Risk of abuse. If NDAs are used inappropriately, they could shield information that the public should know, such as financial mismanagement, corruption, and its commitment to transparency. 4. Legal and ethical considerations. While it may be legally permissible for governments to sign NDAs, ethical considerations about openness and the right to public information should guide their use. Many countries have freedom of information laws that mandate transparency, and signing NDAs could conflict with those laws if the NDA prevents the release of public documents. In conclusion, while NDAs can sometimes be necessary in certain government dealings, they should be used cautiously, with clear limits on their scope, and always in a way that balances confidentiality with the public's right to know. It's essential for governments to ensure that such agreements do not undermine accountability. Would you like more?
No, I don't. I don't want more details. Let me see. We have... All right, so our friends at Royal Castle is coming up just now. Let me see if I could clear up some of these voice notes.
So, Paula, if Kamala did that so much years ago, in 9 years, why didn't the government pick it up and do something about it? Because in all the 9 years, our borders have still been open. So why in 9 years they didn't do something about it? You're calling here to defend whatever, you understand? But what you're defending making no sense. Because for 9 years now, the border is still open. So stop talking nonsense and trying to defend foolishness. Susan, yesterday a caller called on a program and said she didn't know what AI was. Could you explain to her or enlighten her on what AI is and let her know that is not artificial insemination, please?
Artificial intelligence, AI, refers to the ability of machines or computers to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. These tasks include things like learning, problem solving, reasoning, understanding language, and even recognizing patterns. AI is powered by algorithms, which are sets of rules or instructions that help a computer understand and solve problems. There are different types of AI. 1, narrow AI, or weak AI. This is designed to do specific tasks, such as speech recognition, playing chess, or recommending movies. It's limited to the task it was programmed to perform. 2, general AI, or strong AI. This would have the ability to perform any intellectual task that a human can do. It's still a theoretical concept and hasn't been achieved yet. 3, super intelligent AI. This refers to a level of intelligence that surpasses human capabilities, and it's purely speculative at this point. AI can learn and improve through techniques like machine learning, where systems are trained with large amounts of data to recognize patterns and make decisions without being explicitly programmed for every situation. In practical terms, AI powers things like voice assistants, like Siri or Alexa, recommendation systems, like Netflix or YouTube, self-driving cars, and even tools like the one you're using to chat with me. Would you like to know how AI is applied in a specific field, like healthcare or business?
We'll do that when we come back from the break. So we're going to do this one feature for our friends at Royal Castle. Hey boy, Christmas is the best time to eat a nice little Royal Castle too, you know. So keep it locked, and we'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere. Dale and Susan in your company. Yeah, Dana, boy. Susan, you
Okay, Rudolph, make her right. Then, oh, hold on. Mrs. Claus sent a WhatsApp. The elves are hungry. Pick up a Royal Castle Queen bucket, a King bucket, some royal wings, a family meal, a few combos, some extra delicious coleslaw, crinkle-cut fries, potato salad, and a snack box for yourself. Oh, and don't forget that delicious honey mustard sauce. It's really lashing. Okay, Rudolph, let's get that delicious local Trini flavor. Royal Castle, here we come. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Happy holidays from Royal Castle. And we're heading back to TNT for that famous Royal Castle chicken. We just love the Royal Castle family meal with those 12 pieces of tasty chicken, the 6 yummy sides, and that refreshing 2-liter soft drink. It's just perfect for a nice Christmas lime. So if you're hustling and bustling like me, or if you just want some great tasting food, pick up the Royal Castle family meal. Happy holidays from Royal Castle. Ho, 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 ho.
Oh yeah, so we're back on the inside. I want to say good afternoon to all of y'all that are on the inside as well. See people calling me personal first, they're trying to get in on this thing as well. Keep trying. 342-008-1466-5391. There are some callers on the line, and let me also see if it is that I could clear up some of these voice notes. Let me just do this very quickly, and I'm going back to the lines.
Good afternoon, Susan. Susan, Mr. Munilal was on Forbes magazine as one of Trinidad's most richest men. What was his occupation to earn that money? Susan, how many firearm dealers was in Trinidad and Tobago before Gary Griffith took office? And how many dealers were
like
there
Susan
while
crazy
he was
just
in
now,
office?
Mr. Mooney Law, a notable figure from Trinidad, made his fortune primarily through his involvement in the construction and real estate sectors. He was known as a successful businessman who ventured into large-scale property development and construction projects. His success in these industries, combined with his investments, helped him amass wealth, and he became a millionaire in the process. His story is often cited as an example of entrepreneurial success in Trinidad and Tobago.
Dale, good afternoon. I want to ask Susan, which was the most corrupted government in Trinidad?
It's difficult to definitively pinpoint which government in Trinidad and Tobago has been the most corrupt, as corruption can manifest in many forms and can vary over time. However, there have been several periods and scandals in the country's history that have raised concerns about corruption in governance. One of the most talked about periods of perceived corruption in Trinidad and Tobago was during the 1970s and 1980s, particularly under the leadership of certain administrations. For example, during the People's National Movement, PNM, rule under Prime Minister Eric Williams, 1962 to 1981, and his successor, George Chambers, there were allegations of nepotism, misuse of state resources, and a lack of transparency, though these claims were never conclusively proven. The 1980s and 1990s saw more high-profile corruption scandals, particularly during the tenure of the United National Congress, UNC. The most notable scandal involved the state-run airline, BWIA, and questionable contracts and dealings related to its management and operations. There were also accusations of mismanagement of state funds during this period. The 2000s also saw significant political controversies, particularly during the tenure of Prime Minister Patrick Manning, PNM, which included the controversial construction of the Port of Spain's waterfront project and allegations of corruption involving large state contracts. Corruption, however, is a complex and ongoing issue that spans multiple governments and is not confined to a single political party or administration. Trinidad and Tobago has various institutions, such as the Integrity Commission and the Transparency Institute of Trinidad and Tobago, that work to combat corruption. But challenges remain. Would you like more specific examples or a deeper dive into any particular government or scandal?
If you want to go deeper into any particular scandal. No, darling, I'm trying to keep my work because while you're working for free, I still have to maintain a certain order here. Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Afternoon there. Don't nobody put their first shirt today, you know? For Susie working for free. I want to ask Mr. Malcolm, if Biden was the most corrupt government and Donald Trump in the office now, you know, wake up, you pack your bag already? Welcome back home, Mr. Malcolm. Go for a shoot my eye. There I look to all this bill.
Call again afternoon, welcome. Who's this boy?
Good afternoon. I am particularly grateful to Susan and to you for showing the many to the public, to showing the many avenues of recourse for suppression of information by the media. We don't know what action we could take, and she gave me a complete the many avenues they could take, including things like the ombudsman, meaning that is that injustice was being done. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, Dale, to your listeners and to Susan. I want to ask if there have ever been any other instance where persons were in possession of marijuana, right, and it was classified as plant-like substance in the way it was when it was found by the gazebo ledge by the former Prime Minister's residence. If anybody else got that kind of treatment from the police.
There have been multiple instances in Trinidad and Tobago where individuals have been found with marijuana, but the police have often referred to it as a plant-like substance in their reports, especially if there are issues related to the legal or procedural aspects of the case. This is not uncommon, as law enforcement might choose to use more generalized terms like plant-like substance in initial reports or public statements, particularly if they are awaiting confirmation from forensic tests or if they want to avoid prematurely labeling the substance. The case you referred to, involving Kambla posted at Bicester's residence, is one such example where marijuana was discovered, but authorities used the term plant-like substance in their statements, likely due to the circumstances at the time, which might have involved a lack of immediate confirmation or further investigation needed. While there have been several other cases in Trinidad and Tobago where similar terminology has been used, it is worth noting that the practice can sometimes be controversial, especially if it appears to downplay the seriousness of drug-related offenses. The usage of the phrase plant-like substance could be seen as a way to avoid prematurely making definitive claims until the substance is properly tested. If you're interested in a specific case or time period when this occurred more frequently, I can try to provide more context.
Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Dale. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon, Susan. Dale, I have a question for Susan this afternoon. Susan, why it is, with all the crime, poverty, and suffering in Trinidad and Tobago, Prime Minister Keith Christopher Rowley choose to make the rich richer? Why did he make that statement to the public? That is my question for Susan.
Prime Minister Keith Christopher Rowley's statement about making the rich richer was made during a period of economic challenges in Trinidad and Tobago. His comments were part of a broader discussion about the country's economic policies, particularly how the government was handling the country's financial difficulties, including the decline in oil prices, rising unemployment, and public debt. In the context of his statement, Rowley was likely trying to address the need to prioritize certain sectors, such as business and industry, to help revitalize the economy. Governments often focus on strengthening the private sector, especially during economic downturns, as it can create jobs, stimulate growth, and increase tax revenue, which could ultimately benefit the broader population. However, the phrasing of his statement caused controversy, as it seemed to suggest that the wealthy would be prioritized over the poor, a sentiment that many found insensitive given the widespread poverty and crime affecting many communities. Critics argued that this approach might exacerbate inequality, particularly in a country where a significant portion of the population faces economic hardships. Many felt that the government should focus more on social programs, poverty reduction, and crime prevention to address the issues affecting the majority of citizens. In response, Rowley clarified that his comments were not intended to suggest that the government would ignore the needs of the poor, but rather that creating a more stable and prosperous business environment could benefit everyone in the long run, including the less fortunate. It's a complex issue, as governments often have to balance economic policies that stimulate growth with those that ensure the welfare of the public. Do you think the focus on business growth is the right approach in such a situation, or should there be a greater emphasis on addressing poverty and crime directly?
Hey, Dale, you're good to know, Dale, you're good to know, Dale, all you're good to know, Dale. How come they say PNM and they bring out everything in PNM, but as UNC come, it's at a skip and misplace and you ain't hearing it properly at all? Oh, you're good to know, Dale, you're good, Dale, you're working for your money, boy, you're working for your money.
Nah, don't do me that. Don't do me that. Nah.
Nobody hear that much UNC. We hear everything about PNM. Oh, God, boy, nah. So that we reach where we going, yes? I said they did. And you rather play the message, Dale. You rather play, Dale. Oh, you're good, yes?
Susan, good evening again. I would like to know, was the reason given for the closure of Petrochin, was that the real reason, or were there underlying aspects that need to be investigated that, that we are not being told about?
The closure of Petrotrin, which was a significant event in Trinidad and Tobago's energy sector, took place in 2018 under the government led by Prime Minister Keith Rowley. Officially, the government stated that the closure was due to the state-owned oil company's financial struggles, operational inefficiencies, and declining profitability, which had resulted in years of losses. The decision was part of a broader restructuring plan to turn around the country's oil and gas sector, which included the closure of the Petrotrin refinery and the divestment of its operations. The government argued that Petrotrin was a major financial burden on the country, as it had accumulated billions in debt, and the refinery was running at a loss despite significant state subsidies. The government's position was that by restructuring and shutting down certain operations, such as the refining aspect, they could reduce costs, eliminate inefficiencies, and save taxpayer money in the long run. However, there were several underlying issues and criticisms that emerged from various sectors. 1. Political and economic interests. Some critics speculated that the closure was influenced by political and economic considerations, such as the influence of private companies in the energy sector and the government's desire to open up more opportunities for private investment. The oil industry is a significant part of Trinidad and Tobago's economy, and some saw the closure as part of a broader trend toward privatization. 2. Job losses and social impact. The closure resulted in the loss of thousands of jobs, both directly and indirectly, which sparked widespread protests and criticism. Many felt that the government failed to adequately consider the social impact of the decision, as the closure disproportionately affected workers and their families. 3. Management and corruption issues. Another underlying factor was the long-standing mismanagement and alleged corruption within Petrotrin. Over the years, there had been claims of inefficiency, lack of proper oversight, and misallocation of resources, which many believed contributed to the company's financial struggles. Some argued that poor management decisions and possible corruption played a larger role in the company's decline than the external factors cited by the government. 4. Global oil market fluctuations. While the government pointed to operational inefficiencies, the global oil market's volatility also played a role in Petrotrin's decline. Low oil prices, competition from more cost-effective global oil producers, and changes in energy consumption patterns made it harder for Petrotrin to compete. In summary, while the official reason for closing Petrotrin was related to financial losses and inefficiencies, there were underlying issues such as mismanagement, potential corruption, privatization interests, and the broader impact of global energy market shifts. The closure remains a contentious issue, with many still questioning whether all factors were fully disclosed and whether alternative solutions could have been pursued to save the company and protect jobs. Would you like to delve deeper into any specific aspect of the Petrotrin closure or its aftermath?
Nah, we'll go to try to tell many questions we could think. Call us and so holding. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dale. Dale, before I ask Susan a question, I just want to say this, make this statement. Nothing is wrong with the rich getting richer, but the poor must come out of poverty. Like what Dr. Rowley said, I don't know how so hard that is for people to understand. Susan, tell me about Cambridge Analytica and how and what it was used for and how it affects the nation and the people in the voting pattern. Thank you very much.
Cambridge Analytica was a political consulting firm that gained widespread attention due to its involvement in data harvesting and influencing political campaigns, particularly during the 2016 United States presidential election and the Brexit referendum in the UK. The firm was known for using data analytics, psychological profiling, and targeted political advertising to influence voters' opinions and behaviors. What Cambridge Analytica did. Cambridge Analytica gained access to personal data from millions of Facebook users without their consent through a third-party app. This data was then used to create detailed psychological profiles of individuals. Using these profiles, the firm designed highly targeted political ads aimed at influencing people's decisions, especially during elections. In addition to its data-driven strategies, Cambridge Analytica used behavioral manipulation techniques, such as psychographic profiling, analyzing people's personality traits and behaviors to craft personalized messages that would resonate emotionally and sway opinions. Micro-targeting, sending different political messages to different segments of the population based on their psychological profiles, interests, and behaviors. The impact on elections. The use of data by Cambridge Analytica raised serious ethical concerns because it involved manipulating people's voting behavior based on personal data and psychological tactics without their full awareness. The firm's practices were linked to several high-profile campaigns, including the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Cambridge Analytica worked with Donald Trump's campaign swing states, using tailored messaging designed to sway undecided or disillusioned voters. Ads that appealed to certain voter concerns, such as immigration and national sovereignty. The scandal surrounding Cambridge Analytica resulted in public outrage, and the company eventually shut down in 2018 after it was revealed that it had violated data privacy laws. Facebook was also fined for its role in the scandal, as the data was harvested from users without their explicit consent. Effects on voter behavior and national elections. The Cambridge Analytica scandal raised important questions about the role of data manipulation and personalized political messaging in modern democracies. Some of the potential effects on voter behavior and national elections include voter manipulation, targeting voters with emotional or misleading information based on their psychological profiles can influence their decisions in ways they may not be fully aware of. This can result in voters making choices based on incomplete or skewed information. Polarization. By targeting voters with tailored, often divisive content, campaigns can deepen political divisions and increase polarization within a nation. Misinformation. Targeted political ads can spread misinformation, as campaigns may choose to amplify extreme or false narratives to appeal to specific voter segments. Loss of trust. The manipulation of personal data and the use of psychographics to influence voting patterns have the potential to erode public trust in the electoral system. People may feel that their decisions are being manipulated or swayed by hidden forces, undermining confidence in the fairness of elections. Effects on nations and people. In the context of a country like Trinidad and Tobago, while there is no direct evidence of Cambridge Analytica's involvement, the concept of targeted political messaging, micro-targeting, and data manipulation is still relevant. The rise of social media and digital campaigning means that similar tactics could be used to sway public opinion and influence voting patterns in local elections. For example, social media influence. Social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter allow political parties and candidates to target specific voter groups based on their interests, behaviors, and demographics. Data privacy concerns. If personal data is being harvested without voters' knowledge, it could lead to breaches of privacy and manipulation of voting behaviors on a large scale. Impact on democracy. The ability to manipulate voters' emotions and opinions through tailored messages raises questions about the integrity of democratic processes and whether voters are making informed decisions. In summary, while Cambridge Analytica's direct involvement may not have been felt in every country, the techniques used by the firm are still a concern globally. In Trinidad and Tobago, as elsewhere, the use of data analytics, social media, and targeted messaging in political campaigns.
I don't know about y'all, but y'all heard when Suzanne take a breathe just now? Like, she breathed like twice. I jumped. I mean, the information is very, very good, but this AI thing is getting scary, yo. There's emotion in the conversation. Like, y'all heard it, right? Or it was just me? Y'all heard when that deep breath came in and the... Yo! What the hell? Jesus. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Dale.
Good afternoon.
I have a question for Susan. Susan, I would like to find out, the contractor that built or started the project, the highway to Point Fortin, why wasn't that contractor so recognized international? That is my question.
If you're referring to the contractor involved in Cambridge Analytica's operations or a similar data...
No, not the contractor that was involved. I don't think that you'll be sufficient to answer that question.
KFC, I would like to ask Susan if you was truthful when you went to get disability and you was working in CPEP.
Hey, Susan, could you tell me the name of the Rasta who put the panty in the corn soup from Turuba, please? Thank you.
Got it. If you'd like to share more, or if there's something specific you'd like to know, feel free to let me know.
What is the name that you called just now? What's the name?
The name I mentioned was Kunji. Is there specific you'd like to discuss about them?
Susan trying to make me lose my walk here today, my Kyle boy. What is this? How much time I had? 30 something seconds. I had so much voice notes here.
Good afternoon, Dale. Good afternoon, Susan. Dale, you know, sometimes it's better to let sleeping dogs lie. Just saying. This is just my opinion. Just say it. Yeah?
I go on already news up next. You see why it's only one day we gotta bring Susan? Because it will get me in trouble. But this AI thing very scary. You'll have a nice evening.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM.
Oh God, call on the Lord. Call on Him. Pour on us, O God. Oh God, as we pray. Oh.
You are invited to join Pastor Morris Johnson of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center, located at 399 Eastern Main Road, Guayco in Sangre Grande, for the Old Time Gospel Hour all-night prayer every Friday evening, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Designed with you in mind, this ministry deals with today's issues from a biblical perspective. You will be given the opportunity to call in and interact with us. Micah 6:8 says, He hath showed thee, O man, what is good and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. Your free will gifts and offerings will be greatly appreciated and can be sent through the First Citizens Bank, account 795-222, in the name of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly. For more information, please call 753-1113. May God richly bless you.
The light of your glory.
Young people of our nation, ignite your wellness journey with Nature's Touch Youth Health Caravan with Princess Omega and Associates. Prevent ill health today and reap the benefit of good health tomorrow. Join us every second and fourth Saturday of each month at 9:25 a.m. to 9:55 a.m. where we bring to you innovative health solutions. Invest in yourself today by ensuring that you're enjoying optimum health. We are located at number 3, 7th Avenue North via the Eastern Main Road, Barataria. For further information, please call or WhatsApp us at 868-310-8671 or 364-4464. Remember, at Nature's Touch, your health is our priority.
presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Champlain, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Broadcasting from Trinidad to the world, The Street 919FM.com. News from the street, 919FM.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon, I am Dale Edwards with the 4 p.m. news on The Street 919 FM. Let's take a look at the headline. Work permit exemptions extended for registered Venezuelan nationals in Trinidad and Tobago. Support from PNM Women's League. Anti-kidnapping warns, watch the friends you keep. Let's take a look at the news now in detail. It has been told that the Ministry of National Security has extended the work permit exemption granted to Venezuelan nationals in Trinidad and Tobago until December 31st, 2025. In a statement today, the ministry said in the coming weeks, a list of approved ministers' permits numbers will be posted in tranches to its website and social media pages, indicating when people holding those work permit numbers must visit the relevant immigration offices to collect their new permits and update their registration cards. Now, the vote by secret ballot took place at the Laventil West Sub-Constituency Office of Incumbent Member of Parliament Fitzgerald Hines, and the meeting was called for 5:30 p.m. and the gates were closed before 7 p.m. The media understands that 185 women attended the vote, with Marcel receiving 106 votes and Hines securing 78, and Dr. Cadell Jasami receiving 1 vote. This marks the second time that the Laventil West Women's League has held a vote to select a candidate to represent the constituency. The first vote took place on October 28th, where Marcel garnered 38 votes, Hines received 1, and 3 members abstained. However, that vote was annulled after a video of the closed-door meeting was secretly filmed and shared online. The 1-minute video showed members of the league remaining notably silent when the chairperson, Adana Griffith Gordon, repeatedly asked if they would endorse the sitting minister, Fitzgerald Hines, as the party's candidate for the upcoming election. The video also highlighted that only 1 member spoke in favor of Hines. A statement from Laventil West Chairman Richard Walcott lamented certain irregularities in the vote and pointed out that all units of the constituency were not informed by due notice of the meeting. However, a WhatsApp message purportedly from PNM Lady Vice Chairman Camille Robinson-Regis addressed the controversy surrounding the recording and subsequent sharing of the League's confidential meeting on social media. Now, with further news, the head of the anti-kidnapping unit is warning business owners to watch the friends that they keep and to also refrain from revealing their every movement on social media. So far for this year, there have been 5 reported kidnappings for ransom, according to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Services website. However, that figure may be incorrect, as there were no reports recorded since September, even though businessman Sashal Konj Bihari was abducted in September and his body was later found in a shallow grave. In October, Maruga businessman Terence Thomas and his worker were also kidnapped and robbed by fake cops. Businessman Suvish Ramnarang, who was also kidnapped in October, was freed on Wednesday. However, it was not immediately clear if the ransom demand of $3 million was met. Questions were sent to the TTPS Communications Department yesterday for more up-to-date figures. AKU head Senior Superintendent Claire Guy Allen told Guardian Media, while the profiles of perpetrators varied, the only common thing we are seeing is business people being targeted without pointing to any particular case. Guy Allen suggested that some of the kidnappings being seen in the country may be drug-related, but said there are different trends seen when respect to these crimes. In light of recent kidnappings, Guy Allen warned people to be careful how much information they share with people claiming to be friends on social media. Now, the Australian government announced on Thursday what it described as world-leading legislation that would institute an age limit of 16 years for children to start using social media and hold platforms responsible for ensuring compliance. Social media is doing harm to our kids, and I'm calling time on it. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said the legislation will be introduced in Parliament during its final 2 weeks in session this year, which begin in November 18. The age limit would take effect 12 months after the law is passed, Albanese told reporters. The platforms including X, TikTok, Instagram and Facebook would need to use that year to work out how to exclude Australian children younger than 16. I've spoken to thousands of parents, grandparents, aunties and uncles. They, like me, are worried sick about the safety of our kids online, Albanese said. The proposal comes as governments around the world are wrestling with how to supervise young people's use of technologies like smartphones and social media. Now it's time for sports and the weather. The Premiership Division demonstrated their class when Coca-Cola Intercol Zonal quarterfinals were held on November 7th. It was an opportunity for the lower division schools to match their skills against some of the best school teams in Trinidad and Tobago. Staying in that zone, Presentation College San Fernando cruised to a 7-0 victory over St. Madeleine Secondary at Maniranjam Stadium. There were also one-sided matches in the North Zone. Now let's take a look at the weather. From the period tonight to this afternoon, it will be generally fair apart from lingering showers in a few areas. The max forecast temperature in Trinidad will be 33 degrees Celsius, and also in Tobago will all be 33 degrees Celsius. Seas will be moderate with waves near 2 meters in open waters and below 1 meter choppy near sheltered areas. Recapping the headlines, work permit exemption extended for registered Venezuelan nationals in TT, support from PNM Women's League, anti-kidnapping warns, watch the friends that you keep. That was the news of 4 p.m. on the street, 919 FM. I am Dale Edwards. Do have a fantastic afternoon.
News from the street. News from the street. 919fm.com.